welcome to another edition of the Arena. It promises to be exciting as always. It is the first edition for the week, more importantly, the Monday edition when it comes to the month of April. I'm Samson Oloide, and yes, the Super Eagles of Nigeria has failed to qualify for the Qatar World Cup. That's no news. What is news is that the Ministry of Sports and Youth Development sent a letter of query to the Nigerian Football Federation asking the body to explain why the Super Eagles of Nigeria failed to qualify for the World Cup taking place in Qatar. And there's an emergency meeting that has been slated for today, Monday, and I'm sure right about now that meeting should be ongoing. To discuss this with me and more is Femi Faraway, a sports journalist, a seasoned one at that. Femi, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Samson, good afternoon. It's great to be here as well.
Yeah, good to have you on board. Let's start from the obvious. I mean, there will definitely be ripple reactions and effects to Super Eagles failing to qualify for the World Cup. What do you make of the Ministry of Sports and Youth Development querying the NFF and asking them to explain why the Super Eagles failed to qualify, especially in the emergency meeting that has been scheduled for today?
Well, on the scheme of things, to be honest, and let's look at it from a very broad perspective. First things first, if Nigeria failed to qualify, it will be expected that the Nigerian Football Federation should submit a report concerning everything that went down, what the challenges were,
exactly,
and also the ways forward in terms of how to get things better for next term. However, that said, Nigeria is not, the Nigerian Football Federation, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, it's not a proper system. There are loads of lapses in terms of how the team prepared, the level of security, protocol, everything was in total chaos. Now, from sources as well, I gathered, the sports ministry did not even provide the sum as well, the money for that game. The Nigerian Football Federation had to source for funds $100,000 just to get that game up and running. And these are some of the challenges that the Nigerian Football Federation will point out as some of the lapses the ministry made in terms of preparing the team. And you know, economically, we have to ask the ministry himself as Nigerians, because number one, this is a democratic process. Those tickets that were sold for the football game, how much was made? What was done with it? Because you open the stadium by gifting fans tickets, which is fine.
Fine, good.
However, you did not just dash them that ticket. There was a right holder who sold those tickets. So what happened? What were the numbers?
Security
What's going on?
as well?
You should also ask that communications to tender reporting as well. But I think that the major thing is Nigerians are hot. Nigerians are in a place where no one fathomed a result of this magnitude. And we're seeing the ripple effect as well. But I think whatever the ministry comes out from, whatever the minister comes out from that meeting today, or from that report we get from the NFF, it should be how to cut a way forward. We need to put aside all the differences and start to work together. In Nigeria, nobody resigns. So forget that assumption of a resignation.
What exactly is wrong with MFM this season? Home, away, they're dropping points. Yes, they won yesterday, and they've moved from the bottom of the table to 19th, but they are still within relegation waters. Do you think they can even survive?
Well, it's possible. They're not far off the drop. They're not far away from the safety zone. But I think what's very important to note as well for MFM is, do they have the sort of players they need to get those sort of results? I don't think they do. I think they are currently, they've got a squad list that could do with one or two experienced players, but it's what they got is what they're going to keep pushing. The club and the management are optimistic. And as Lagosians, we can only wait and see what happens. But I think it's a very difficult one.
Quickly, let's still talk about MFM. Managerial crisis, you want to say. Ever since Fidelis Lechuku left, it's been one manager or the other, interim and all. Do you think they have the right man to even get them through this crisis in the first place?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And I think that their inability to pick, because look, you've got someone like Kennedy Boboye available.
Exactly, who left Aqua United not quite long.
Yeah. And you didn't get that through the door. You've got quite a lot of other options in as well. I think that MFM, first things first, it's a very low budget side in terms of recruitment and all. It's also in terms of wages as well. So what exactly is it to 10 players? Doesn't work in my opinion.
Okay, let's move away from African or Nigerian football now and delve to the European shores. Liverpool continuing the chase for that elusive quadruple. They've won the Carabao Cup, they're into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, semi-finals of the FA Cup, and they're just a point behind with against City in the title race. Now, The win against Watford, what do you make of the performance and how important do you think it will be in the title race itself?
Well, it was Liverpool were pragmatic. They knew what they needed to get. Got it. Goals from Jota and Firmino. But you can tell that the fatigue is beginning to set in. Mohamed Salah doesn't look as slick as he used to at the start of the season. Could be the Nations Cup and the World Cup failure to qualify.
Qualifiers, yes.
But I think that but I think that one thing you cannot deny Jurgen Klopp is the fact that he's got a large squad.
Large squad.
He has already got plans that I'm going to contest for the Premier League. Currently, there's the FA Cup, and then there's the Champions League. The quadruple will be a big deal. But I think if he does the treble, that would automatically also mean something very big.
Exactly.
You think of Manchester City next. That's a difficult game. It's this weekend, so that means there's a lot to look forward to as well in terms of football games. But I do believe as well that from what we have seen so far from Liverpool, I think they stand a very good chance in this Champions League, in this season's league, and also the FA Cup.
FA Cup as well. Okay, there's no way we'll talk about Liverpool without talking about City. I mean, these two teams have elevated English football in terms of the standard in the Premier League over the last 3-4 seasons. Now, to even win the title, you need 96 points and more, unlike the days where you needed just probably 80, 81 points to win. So you had Man City also doing the business against Burnley. Burnley, a team fighting relegation, a tricky tie, but I think they handled that test very well.
Yes, I do think so. I think that, like Liverpool, they realize that they've got to win games, keep a clean sheet as well. So 1-0, 2-0 at most. Just ensure you keep a clean sheet and you roll over to the next game.
Talking about the next game, that's the title decider. April 10th, Etihad Stadium destination. Liverpool need to win. City at least a draw, to ensure that they keep up their title defense. But for Liverpool, they need to win all their remaining games to become champions of the Premier League. Do you think Jurgen Klopp and his men, with Luis Diaz and the rest of them, especially Diogo Jota, who is firing on all cylinders, before the break he was banging in goals, during the international break he was scoring goals for Portugal, do you think Liverpool can pull the chestnut out of the fire, as our very good friend Kufri would say, in terms of getting the much-needed win at the Etihad Stadium next week?
Well, I think Liverpool can. They've got a very good squad. They've got Luis Diaz. He's the sort of option that adds to the already established Jota, Mane, and Salah. He's settled in very well. Now, Liverpool have got their own crisis. Contract issues for Mane, for Salah, for Firmino. That could be a problem. But I think that Liverpool have got the sort of quality, and they know that whatever you do this year is what will take them through to the next season. Overall, I think it will be a very difficult game. I can't deny that fact. I do think as well that Liverpool have got the players to win. But I think City have just got that extra thing in the manager, Pep Guardiola.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's move away from there now and talk about Manchester United. The race for the top four got more intriguing over the weekend. Spurs blew out Newcastle United 5-1 and then moved into the top four temporarily, although Arsenal can reclaim that spot with a victory against Crystal Palace tonight. But let's look at United. They've stumbled once again at home against Leicester City. Where do they go from here if they fail to make a qualifier for the Champions League? And who should be the right candidates to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on a permanent basis for United?
Well, that's a very difficult question. I think the last one first. Who replaces Solskjaer? There are loads of options. There's Pochettino. There's Eric Ten Hag. So they've got a wide range of managers who can be considered for it. But with every passing day, the United job continues to look like something that nobody wants.
Exactly.
And everyone is trying to keep themselves away from it. But I think that United qualifying for the Champions League is a tall order. Now, I know already that Arsenal are currently jostling for that position. There's Tottenham Hotspur. They had a win as well yesterday over Newcastle United. There's West Ham in that conversation. And we obviously know that Wolverhampton Wanderers will be sniffing around. So I think it's very difficult. Do I think that United have got the quality? No. I think that the sort of players they've got is not better than what we've seen in some other teams. So it'll be a very difficult one in terms of performance-wise. But I think United, they can, but I don't think they would.
Okay, let's dash down to Spain. And for Spanish La Liga, Real Madrid won 2-1 Benzema. 3 penalties in the match against Celta Vigo. Scored 2, lost 1, but they got the win. They are 12 points clear. But let's focus on Barcelona. Xavi came in November. Barcelona were 9th on the standings. They looked like they were condemned not to even make European football. And within the space of 4 months, something has changed. Now they are second, 12 points behind Real Madrid with a game in hand. And you can't put it beyond them to make, you know, a late title push, although it would seem like too late, you know, to make it. But you have to give them credit for how they handled Sevilla. That was a difficult task.
Well, certainly. And I really will write up Barcelona. Remember, they got an outstanding fixture. They
Outstanding,
win that one,
exactly.
cuts it down to 6 points, and that means game on. But credit has to go as well to Xavi Hernandez. He's done a good job. He was backed by the board as well, got in Dani Alves, brought in Adama Traore, Ferran Torres, and Emerick Aubameyang. And these guys have converted goals for fun. They've also got quality in time past. Gabi, Pedri, this is a young player, Frankie de Jong. And we've seen what they could do as well. Now, I do think as well that Real Madrid, for me, had it easy at the weekend.
At the weekend,
against
yes.
Celta Vigo. All 3 penalties were questionable.
Exactly.
As one of them, I think 2 of them should not have been, the first 2 should not have been a penalty.
Yeah.
But eventually, Real Madrid found a way to nick that game. And that just tells you how bad Real Madrid has been in the past few matches. For Barcelona to close that gap tremendously means that Real Madrid have been dropping points. I do think as well that a bit difficult game, but eventually Barcelona will still stay in the conversation for the title run.
Okay, Femi, I mean, before we go, we have to talk about Arsenal. I mentioned it. You have 2 prominent league fixtures today. And one would decide, I mean, the title in the Italian Serie A. That's Milan against Bologna. I don't think it's something we should even concentrate on because that's almost like a given that Milan will win that. But Arsenal going away from home to Crystal Palace at the reverse fixture ended 2-2, and it was Arsenal even forced that draw. You have Vieira's men playing so well now. Do you think Arsenal can get the much-needed win to get back into the top 4?
Well, this game is a very tricky game. Marcelo's back. There's quite a number of injuries for Crystal Palace.
Yes.
Wilfred Zaha, Michael Olise. Arsenal have got injuries of their own. Aaron Ramsey is out injured. Bukayo Saka also will not play.
Leno is back.
Well, that was the names. But I think that one thing you can't deny from that game is the fact that there will be a lot of opportunity for Patrick Vieira to remind the Arsenal boss that they failed to sign him as coach. But for him to feel that way as well, he's got to get a win. I think that they're very good in terms of transition, how they move ball from defense to attack. But Arsenal have been a better team, and because they have been underwritten this season by many club sides, look at where they are. They're currently 5th on the Premier League table, and I think they can actually go into the top spot. So, do I think Arsenal will get the result? Yes, for a very slim one.
Louis van Gaal, I mean, the news, it's in the news that he's...
I think it's a difficult thing.
Yes?
I think it's a difficult thing. I think that it's a very delicate moment. He's done brilliant qualifying them for the World Cup. However, he said he had to keep his players quiet.
Quiet, yes.
Not to distract them. But I think that it just tells you there's a lot going on. And people go through a lot of challenges that you don't know about. But for me, a lot of credit. And I think I applaud him for it.
Quick one. Should he still lead them to Qatar? Because right now, we've not heard anything from the Dutch FA.
Yes, I think he should. The last time he took them to the World Cup, they came out with a bronze medal.
Yeah, 2014. Yeah. I think the iconic moment from that has to be that Van Persie header against Spain.
Oh yeah, that was the top moment as well.
That was the top moment, really. Femi Faraway, it's been a great honor having you on the show. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That's Femi Faraway, seasoned sports journalist.